Hello friends, and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. 30 years and one day ago, the next episode of the second season of Star Trek The Next Generation premiered, called Elementary Dear Data, and these are my honest opinions about it. The episode starts with our heroes having nothing to do until they meet the USS Victory. Wow, isn't that an exciting start, with our heroes being bored? Geordi built a model of the classic ship Victory, which he plans to give to the captain of the current USS Victory, and he also offered Data to go to play with him to the holodeck, where Data will play Sherlock Holmes, and Geordi will play his Dr. Watson. By the way, Geordi's assistant is pretty and creepy. Or maybe pretty creepy. They start a simulation on 221B Baker Street, but when Data immediately solves the starting mystery, Geordi gets mad and leaves the holodeck. Data tries to desperately understand why Geordi is mad, and Dr. Pulaski thinks that Data could never solve a true Holmes-type mystery, which means that all three of them will go back to holographic 1890s London. They try a random adventure, and Data again solves the mystery before anybody else. Dr. Pulaski makes fun of him, because he basically just combined elements of two pre-existing Sherlock Holmes mysteries, and Geordi makes a fatal mistake. He asks for the Ark with the computer controls, and asks the computer to create a villain who will be a good challenge for Data, and who would be actually a worthy opponent for him. They, however, have no clue that they are being watched by a certain Victorian gentleman, who also sees them calling the Ark, and after the changes done by the computer, this gentleman is also capable of calling the Ark himself, and also communicating with the Enterprise computer. This gentleman is nobody else than the Sherlock Holmes' old nemesis, Professor Moriarty. He now gets special remake. The computer now gives him special privileges, and not only above the simulation, but as our heroes soon realize, also above the real ship. But first, Geordi and Data get separated for a moment from Dr. Pulaski, but when they hear her scream, they run back, and Data realizes that she has been kidnapped. Kidnapped by two men. Geordi still thinks that it's just a part of a fascinating game. The computer tries to distract them by a second murder, but Data, as Holmes, solves it immediately, because he knows that it's not related in any way to the Dr. Pulaski case, so they continue until they find Moriarty's hideout. Geordi is at least heavily impressed by Data's abilities, but he finally starts to realize that they have a real problem now. When they finally meet Professor Moriarty, he knows that they are not the real Holmes and Watson. Both of them are confused. How can a hologram know something like that? But when he suddenly calls the computer Ark and then he draws an outline of the Enterprise, they freak out, run away from the holodeck, and start an emergency meeting with the high-ranking officers. On the meeting, we finally understand why Moriarty has such powers. Geordi has said, as I said before, a fatal mistake. When he was changing the program, he asked the computer to create an enemy who could defeat Data and not Holmes. When the ship soon starts to shake, the computer tells that the controls were moved to the holodeck, which means that the holographic Moriarty now has both Dr. Pulaski and the controls over the ship. and they have to quickly improvise and get to Moriarty himself. Which means that Data, still in his Holmes costume, with Picard in a Victorian gentleman outfit, and even Worf in a gentleman outfit, go to the holodeck door, but only Picard and Data go in. So Worf changed outfit. Why exactly? Meanwhile, the evil Moriarty is torturing Dr. Pulaski by feeding her cookies and tea. Wow, what an evil monster. When Picard and Data arrive, they start the real talk. As they soon find out, Moriarty now understands that he is just a hologram, and the three of them are real humans. And he simply said wants to live. He wants them to find a way how to make him exist outside of the holodeck, otherwise he threatens he will destroy the Doctor and the ship. This is finally something exciting in this episode. So how do they solve this problem? Well, Picard tells him that they don't know how to achieve it, so he lets them go and gives them the control back. Well, that was anticlimactic. They promise Moriarty that they will save his program instead of deleting it, promising us a good sequel, and we will actually get a sequel in a few years. So they now have the control back, and they meet with the real victory. Well, this video is going to be short, but honestly, there is not really much to say about this episode. Or at least, I have not very much to say about it. I have never read any of the Sherlock Holmes stories, but I have seen several different TV adaptations, and I thought that these adaptations were okay. Not great, not horrible, just okay. Why am I saying this? Well, I'm trying to point out that I have absolutely no emotional binding to the character or his story. Maybe if I was a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, I would enjoy this episode much more. Maybe. I mean, I'm watching actors pretending to be characters who pretend to be other characters. It kind of reminds me on cosplay. It's okay, and you see that the guys and the lady are having lots of fun. But that's it. It's kind of nice to see a few streets of 19th century London recreated, and it's nice to see them having fun, but that's basically all of the positive things I can say about this episode. The ending feels absolutely unfinished. It's sad that they decided to go with a completely anticlimactic ending, but at least the sequel episode was much better. But that's a story for another time. But anyway, I don't love this episode and I don't hate it. Which brings me to the rating. On my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is just average, I would give this episode 5 out of 10. I think it's okay, nothing more, nothing less, but as always these were just my opinions. Let me know what do you think about this episode. Did you love it, hate it, or did you think it's just average? Feel free to leave your opinions down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button, and if you have some free time, feel free to watch any of the other videos I have on my channel. You should see some links on screen right now. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon. Bye.